Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another video. Remember this dude? He's not here right now, but hold on.
General, and he was saying endure, and then like somewhere through that.
Play the clip, bro. Play the clip. Play the clip. We're talking about disingenuous. Play the clip.
Well, either way, the dude who we reacted to last time, or Playback reacted to, and I reacted to too, bro. The dude who got me kind of heated last time. Yeah, I don't like him. Yeah, bro got exposed. Let's see what happened.
Pearl has some takes on the whole backlash that the whatever podcast received out there. Those crazy comments they made about abusing women.
Really?
Man. Crazy.
Who would have thought?
Make her own opinion, or is she gonna graft?
Last show, a few panelists when
Oh, he's not here.
Well, I think it was one panelist, but when asked what advice they'd give to women who are physically abused in relationships, said the partner should stay in the relationship and endure. Curious your takes, Brian and Pearl, and the rest of the panel too. Okay, yeah, this is like went crazy viral on Twitter and a couple other places.
Yeah, I
the
saw
group
it.
chat.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. First off, the short clip that Mel posted, I don't know if she had edited it or if it was somebody else, was like cut. It was pretty heavily cut up.
No, it wasn't. We actually believed it was.
Yes.
When we saw the first clip, we dead ass thought that's out of context. It has to be out of context. But when we saw the full podcast, which we both watched, the shit was fully in context, and the rest of the podcast was worse.
Yeah, it didn't get any better.
And it was so egregiously dumb. We thought this has to be taken out of context.
Like, there's no way it's in context.
There's no way this is in context. I went myself to go watch the entire podcast and make sure I found the entire context, especially because people love to say that people like us like take things out of context. And sadly, it's all in context. Yes.
Yo, stop. I'm sick of niggas saying dumb shit and saying context when the context, we had all the context.
The context made it worse, actually.
It made it way worse.
You had somebody on that podcast making fun of women being abused. Like, it made it 10 times worse.
Let's say John is beating his wife, right?
This bum right here. Yeah, I don't like him.
And his wife comes to the church leadership and she's like, hey, like, this is a problem.
With two black
I want
eyes,
to divorce him.
like, hey,
you know, at that point.
MLD was saying that you should endure. I'm not even sure if he said, like, I think he was talking about in general, but like, because she threw in, well, what should you do in divorce? And then she threw in this other stuff about abuse. I mean, point blank period, my take is, if you're being abused, whether emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, but your question is physically abused, like, get out, like, end the relationship, get divorced, like, don't stay.
That's literally what you see how he's like trying to like bend this. She asked a very specific question. It was a very line direction question, and the question was a concept of, well, the premise of the conversation was divorce within a very traditional conservative Christian or any Catholic type of relationship, right? And in that situation, what are the means and reasonings to potentially get a divorce? Because they were making it seem as if like divorce doesn't exist, you can separate, try to work things out. That's how they made it seem like. So you making it seem as if like, oh, it's a general question and about divorce. And no. She specifically asked that about that. Somehow, some way, when he was answering it, he was upset that the question was too specific. Now all of a sudden, this nigga said it was just a general. Like, which one is it, bro?
That's actually a really good point.
Was it general conversation, or was it so specific that he got upset that he was like, why do we have to answer this specific question from a general basis? Like, which one is it?
Because we're in this situation now, like, where everybody's just creating this like super nuanced, like 1% example of like, well, what if the kid's fucking transgender, black, and abused, and he's a Black Lives Matter supporter? Like, you're taking an extremely niche. Hold on, you're taking an extremely niche example. You are.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well,
I think there's a lot.
But these are the high value red pill men who complain about women bouncing around accountability all the time. Here we are now, and they continue to do it.
But I'm glad we got Pearl here, because Pearl's gonna really talk some sense into this panel.
Is she?
Yo, listen up. This one's for all you pretend rappers. Internal combustion engine champion 88.
What the hell?
Really gonna nail it.
Yeah, when I watched the full clip, I was actually really surprised because I didn't really take it that that's what he meant.
What?
But when they cut it up like that, it just seemed like he said something he didn't say. But that's what a lot of these like reactions.
What they're saying,
bro, Pearl. There's people who actually believe what you say and find that you give good advice, and the fact that you go on their podcast and basically lie and say it was taken out of context is crazy. Or that's not what he meant. It's crazy because It's there, 4K. They didn't even delete the video, I'm pretty sure. You could go back, or you could go right now and watch the video, which is crazy. Because what they said was crazy.
Saying is simply not true.
You can separate, but you can't actually divorce. That's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive.
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick into the relationship.
Look, 4K. Look.
Look,
People nowadays
honest.
are just pussies. Everybody fucking quits. Everybody gives up. It's too hard. I'm this XYZ. This is why I'm special, so I can fuck up this entire situation based upon me being special. And the reality is people just haven't learned to fucking endure. There have been hard times in relationship. I'm sure you guys had hard times in relationship. Any relationship has hard times. Okay. And it is what it is. You need to push through and you need to endure.
And I'll say this as a content creator, like a lot of the reaction channels will take clips to like put you out of context and like say things that you didn't say, and kind of like it's really dishonest, honestly.
And Mel, the Destiny's wife, it was her clip that she made, which I think is pretty disingenuous, because if you watch the whole thing, I think Emma.
But then we watched the whole thing, so we not one of them.
She's talking about. And to Pearl, nobody that I've seen who reacted to this didn't react to the Twitter clip. They reacted to the entire podcast the same way we reacted to it as well. When I went myself to go watch the entire podcast and make sure I found the entire context, especially because people love to say that people like us like take things out of context, and sadly, it's all in context. Matter of fact, everybody reacted to so much of it that there's even more clips that float around that entire pod that they were able to pull from to further prove that they watched the entire.
You know what?
podcast.
I'm sick of the context argument, because there's certain situations where context is super duper important.
Yeah.
Stop pretending like context is gonna save you from a horrible take. That's not
That's
true.
true.
It's simply not true. Sometimes you niggas have bad take and you think context is gonna make a difference. No, niggas is not trying to take you out of context. Pearl, your takes are so dumb. We don't have to take you out of context for you to look dumb. You did that yourself by accident. You by accident look dumb. So niggas reacting to it, just because there was a clip, there was a cut, there was an edit, doesn't mean shit was taken out of context. I'm sick of this argument. This is the one case where it's such a layup. It's such a layup, and y'all still look dumb, and now you want to point at context for being the reason why. Man, that's a bunch of malarkey.
D got a little, like, he was fucking 7 White Claws deep too. Look, if he, I'm not gonna co-sign what he said.
Not the
disavow.
TV static.
Disavow. But like, it sounded like to me like they were asking about divorce in general, and he was saying endure, and then like somewhere through that.
Play the clip, bro. Play the clip. Play the clip.
Yeah.
We're talking about disingenuous. Play the clip. She specifically asked a question about something that happened in a relationship. It was somehow so specific that in the moment they were upset about how specific it was. They actually said it and said, this very rarely happens. It don't really happen. This is such a rare occurrence. Now all of a sudden, this nigga's talking about it was a general conversation. Play the clip.
If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and like values marriage a lot, and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, and then a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From
Would
who?
you? From both.
This is so rare.
Anyone
It's
so
really.
Rare.
Go
I mean,
on.
it happens.
Go on.
My point is, I'm just, even though it might be rare from what you guys think.
It is.
This nigga's a weirdo. That was not a general conversation, bro.
Yeah.
That's a very disingenuous thing to say.
Or you're lying, bro.
You're lying, bro. That's ridiculous, bro.
She brings up physical abuse, and so.
Well, and so I kind of look at this question a little differently, because my question is like, what is the abusive situation? And I need specifics. And like the reason I need specifics is women cry abuse for everything, and we've actually lost the meaning of abuse. Like if you go to, and I know this because I'm doing a divorce documentary. And so I'm actually interviewing men that are in the process of getting like absolutely wrecked by divorce. And a lot of them have had false allegations put out against them. And a lot of those, basically what the feminists do is they expand the definition of abuse to include things like coercive control, financial abuse, and even physical abuse. A lot of times, like girls don't talk about how they hit first. And most abusive situations are mutually abusive.
I agree with her right there. I think we should stop using one word to describe a whole array of very different things. For example, assault. Assault can mean so many things, but when you say it, it is a visceral reaction. But like, that's technically assault. Yeah. If you didn't want me to do that, you could press charges because this is assault. And I did. That's very different than me punching your head in. Feel me? In the same way, you're with a girl or whatever. You feel me? Sexual assault, same thing. And you know niggas don't ask questions, so they'll see something and they'll immediately be like, damn, he did that? And they'll leave with the wrong idea of what was said. I actually agree. I think that's more of like a, I don't even know, she's blaming feminists, but English language is just like that. People don't choose to specify.
The problem is that I know how one of them interpreted it because he made fun of, he pointed
You're right.
to
That's true.
She's changing the conversation.
No, for sure.
100%.
But in this situation, I know for a fact one of them knew for a fact that we were talking about physical abuse.
Yeah.
Because he pointed out to his eyes. He made fun of the concept that a woman would have black eyes. So I know and he was the one who was yelling endure. So I know the guy who was yelling endure definitely was under the belief of black eyes being had. So that'd be physical abuse.
So the genuine thing to do in this situation for the host would be to clarify to Pearl, who might not have seen, we can give her the benefit of the doubt, even though we know she's seen it.
Yes.
That he was talking about physical abuse. So she said, the question I would ask is what type of abuse? So he should say
physical abuse. But of course, he's not going to though. So, but because this is just a general convo that we're having right here. That's all. This is a general convo.
It's raid time.
It's raid time.
Immerse yourself in endless.
You know how I know but I always said this to myself, but like, this is how I know I made it, and that is if Raid sponsors me, because a lot of people get sponsored by Raid, and if you're sponsored by Raid, that's when you know you made it. So that's when I'm looking out for.
And so a lot of times
half
what
joking.
girls will do is they'll say, "Oh, I'm being
Getting sponsored, period, is
she
knowing.
hit him first." Like I had a girl on the show say I was physically abused, and I used to just believe women. Like I would always just be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." But then you start asking questions, and it baffles me how women like turn the situation of them like being abused when they aren't. Like this one girl, she came on my show. She said I was physically abused. I said, "Okay, tell me the situation. What exactly happened?" She refused to leave his house. She refused. So she's trespassing on his property, saying, "I'm not going to leave," and he pushes her out of the house. Is that abuse?
She's a completely different convo. Let's not have it. Because that's a completely different conversation. He
that
needs
is
to be like, no, we're talking about physical abuse and interrupt her fucking monologue.
Yes.
Yo, this is not a men-women thing. I get like it's easier
but let's also clear. He asked in the clip who's hitting who, and then Melina said both.
A year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From who?
From both.
She said they're both being back to one.
That's true.
They're both.
She just said that.
So again, mind you, we're the one who didn't watch the whole clip. We're the ones taking out of context. But literally in the clip, she literally says both. Both are doing it. Both are being abused to one another. Both of them.
And Pearl.
Pearl is just saying nothing.
But she's continuing to grip. Yo, that's not a men-women thing. Like y'all not even quoting the thing that y'all know the context, but you're quoting everything incorrectly.
Everything incorrectly.
So this conversation is rendered pointless. This is a completely separate one. You're referencing the last one, but you're not having that same convo because it's under different circumstances.
Which is really ironic because y'all started this by saying how disingenuous conversations are, but all you did was just move the goalpost to another conversation that nobody was actually having. But even if you want to have that conversation, bro, if somebody is physically, mentally, verbally abusing you, then you should just leave, bro. Like, it has nothing, like, that's just it. Like, if you feel like you are being abused in a relationship, just leave. You know what's even crazy? The guy who kept saying endure, he also is like going around now claiming he said things that he didn't actually say, and it's all a bunch of bouncing around some concepts that he actually said. But for whatever reason, reaction channels are the ones who keep taking things out of context. Play the clip, Caleb.
And manipulate the public opinion of me by saying,
"Bro, you're a clown, a bum, and you're stupid. Everything you say is stupid." Because, bro, it's calling 4K, and you're just dumb. You could be like, "Oh, my bad, I didn't mean what I said," or "I said what I said, and I want to take it back." You could apologize for that instead of trying to shift this blame onto somebody else who didn't put words in your mouth. Or then take it out of context because it's all there.
Like, oh, this guy, because I guess what they're trying to say is like if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship,
physical abuse, yeah.
Right. So they're trying to say that I'm saying that if a man is continuously beating a woman in a relationship, that he and her should stay.
That's what you said, actually.
That's not what I said at all. But I did say if there was one instance, because
that's literally what you said, because y'all said it was a phase. If it's a phase, it would have to be a long period of time, not just.
Do you notice how he's saying continuously? Nobody said continuously in the original clip. They just said physical abuse in general.
In general.
One beating is enough.
That's enough.
To qualify.
But to be clear, though, you all said a phase as well. So if it's a phase, it had to have been continuously. It could not have just been one time, because one time is just one time. That's not a phase.
That's true.
So you acknowledging that it's a phase means that it was happening continuously.
You know what it is? I think.
Bro, come on. Like, what are we doing? Why do I have to break down this shit?
Frankly. And I understand the argument to endure because I have people close to me who grew up in abusive households, and it lasted for periods of time, and it was a phase, and they endured through it, and they ended up raising healthy, successful families.
Mind-blowing to me how so many people in the RP space wants to sit here and act like, oh, women just don't take accountability. It's all, we women, and us as men, we just take a whole bunch of accountability.
RP.
Red pill.
Oh, that means role play to some niggas.
Yeah. I was like, he said RP. I'm like, And then I thought about it for a second. I'm like, oh, red.
Oh, okay. Red in the red pill community, they just yell about this accountability, and somehow, some way, y'all can say things on a podcast, be very vehemently about it, and then y'all backtrack 2 or 3 days later when all of a sudden you get a wave, just a wave of backlash. Allegedly now, to Albert Preach, Albert claimed that he has some DMs claiming that the same gentleman who was yelling out "endure" is overseas putting his hands on a bunch of women.
Some motherfuckers must really hate you.
Really?
Because
that's dumb.
After the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
I punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rockon.
Well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch. And he's like, yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next? So that's the MLD saying, like, why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up?
I want to talk about sensitive niggas leaving.
Yeah. If we're talking about sensitive niggas leaving, weren't you the one who walked off a set? Like, come on, bro.
Hey,
like,
play the clip, Kayla.
Play the clip of this nigga walking off the set, bro.
He walked off?
Exactly.
In what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Weren't you the same one who like fat shamed me like last week or so? You think that's normal from a stranger to fat shame somebody?
Damn.
I don't remember. Did I call you fat?
Okay.
Don't do that. You know where you were in the chat. You knew you were in the chat. Don't do that on camera.
You sound like somebody who really looks down on women with the way that, you even made a whole hit piece on that. I think that's weird.
I didn't make a hit piece on her.
You know, I'm... Blah. Sorry, I don't like Natalia. But she's just loving the attention. That's all she's there for. So rude. No professionalism. Sorry, behind the scenes, this girl is rude. She is mean. She's a rude, mean girl. Yeah, you could be all Mrs. Oh, I'm Miss Prim and Proper on the camera. Tee-hee, haha.
Okay, first of all, you're annoying. Second of all, it's funny that he went on that podcast just to get jumped. Bro went up there, thought he was going to do something, and that didn't happen.
Treating your guests like shit, not acting like a professional.
You're a shit guest.
Of course, she's 25, emotional little brat.
Is that, listen, if you're going to do those things, own up to it and then make your point about it. If you're going to do these things and you're not going to own up to it, and then what's the point? You're just what, bullying people?
Yeah. I'm still waiting for what made you upset.
It's okay. Right now, we're going to call you the delusional girl.
All right, how about I just,
we can just stick to that.
leave because this is retarded.
Bro looks like he's about to cry.
I'll tell you what.
Endure. I'm
What was
dead.
the example then? Just to be clear. I'll do the 3. Was it 3? No, I'm pretty sure it was, is this chick supposed to be attractive? 1. 2, she's 40 pounds too heavy. Yep. XYZ, something about weight. I wouldn't listen to her. Like, you just went on a rant. It was like...
How do you know that was him, though?
Because it was his name with the check mark in the chat.
Do you recall doing that?
I guess so. So
Okay,
you're mad because I said you're 40
saying?
pounds overweight. I'm on every chat. I'm in Fresh and Fit. You know how it is when you're a streamer. You're in all these chats. I did like 6 shows in the last 6 days. I'm not gonna be talked down to by like some child that has no decency to communicate with me in a respectful manner.
It starts with you. What man leads a relationship like that? You don't even know how to lead a general space.
All right, you guys are better than me. You win. Cool. Next question.
MLD, final words before you run off. I don't want to go out like this. Anything you would like to say before you do?
You gotta endure. People are too.
You want to stick with the relationship?
People are just. I mean, look, people nowadays are just pussies.
I got nothing to say. I'm out.
See? My point.
Damn.
All right, brother.
I'll text you. Thank you. Sorry.
Endure.
I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
Producers,
Better than endure.
samples that make you react like this.
Okay, wait. To beat Aya, I'm gonna beat Aya for not being pretty enough. I have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
Like, there's no way to know for certain. Like, text messages, I feel like, don't run around thinking this is ironclad. Anybody could have just made this their profile picture and name and come up with text. Like, it's not easy. It's not hard to Photoshop shit nowadays. And you kind of have to second guess things, especially with AI. Like, we don't know what's real and what's not.
That's true.
Let's be clear. This started with the gentleman who hosted whatever podcast in Pearl making these insinuations and assuming that people just taking everything out of context. But then when y'all try to go back and rehash what actually happened, y'all are purposely leaving out very important context to get off the grift, bro. Be a fucking man and just accept the accountability, especially when it's something this easy. It's a layup. Mentally,
To me,
spiritually,
it's like,
emotionally.
you're not as traditional as you think. I think the same way we in the past have questioned how modern women want some traditional aspects, but they pick and choose which parts they want in their life. At the end of the day, if you can find a nigga that gives you that, go ahead, do that. This is the opposite side of the spectrum, where traditional men are picking and choosing when they want their woman to be traditional.
Yes.
Like
no, they picking and choosing when they want
to be traditional. So like you're not following all the traditional. You're not. You're just picking and choosing which ones are gonna fit your life better. And in all reality, Marcel's right. This is all about trying to avoid accountability.
That's all it is.
Like you are perfectly fine holding your wife accountable, but when I didn't mean to hit you. You're not my wife, obviously.
I mean,
but like,
you gonna use a different example?
Yeah, let me use a different example. Yeah, like you are all about holding your wife responsible, but when it comes to holding you responsible, you're easy to put up resistance. To me, that's not a sign of a leader or a man.
But yo, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. These red pill guys are just, I mean, this right here just gets worse and worse for them. The lack of accountability is ridiculous. And also just a lack of pushback from other people who are supposed to be in a space is also really ridiculous. You want me to entrust my livelihood with y'all of who must be head of the community. You want me to trust my livelihood with it, and y'all can't come on a consensus of what was stated in the conversation that everybody else already understood? Like, nigga, the conversation had 3 days ago, and all of a sudden, like, you have amnesia about what actually...
It was 3 days ago?
What the fuck are we talking about?
Yeah, bro, I know what it's like to make content. When you make content, you see all the clips of the shit that you are scrolling on TikTok. You see all them bitches on TikTok.
And then you just start regretting it.
Dozens of times.
Yes.
You're not going to tell me you don't remember what was in the clips.
Come on.
You don't remember. I'm dead.
Section below. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell. These are disgusting people. I'm quite frankly tired of talking about them, especially because they have microphones and they have platforms. I'm just getting tired of talking about them, bro. Y'all let us know in the comment section below, and we'll see y'all next time, man. Peace.
Very good video by them. I seen that. I actually didn't see it. Might check that out later. Telling women to stay in an abusive relationship and just endure is basically telling a woman to stay in an abusive relationship and just endure it. Bro said the same thing twice. Okay then. But yeah, like, subscribe, see you guys later. Hope you have a good day or night, and bye. I don't like that dude, but hey, he doesn't know me, so yeah.